All right, everybody, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Atlanta News First Alert desk. I'm Savannah Louie. We've got your top 5 stories for this evening. It is September 20th here on this wonderful Wednesday night. All right, we're going to start off with some incredible video I want to show you from earlier today. And what started as a complete blaze in Southwest Atlanta is now extinguished, but I want to show you the scene at a gas station just earlier today. Wow. All right, you can see plenty of flames here, high up in the sky, crews working to put that flame out. This again happening in Southwest Atlanta over at the Chevron gas station at 2049 Sylvan Road around 10:30 this morning. We're told that a contractor worker damaged this, and it was a 4-inch plastic natural gas line. It took about 2.5 hours to get the scene under control. I want to show you a different vantage point here. And you can really see just how dark that smoke is and some of the chaos around this area. Now, you can see in the video right here, one car completely damaged. Also, you can see a truck, which appears to have some damage, but not quite as bad as that other initial vehicle. We're told that the roads were able to reopen earlier this afternoon, but earlier officials were encouraging drivers to avoid the area. Now, the good news is with this, no outages or injuries, which I know was a major concern for a lot of folks who lived in the area. You could smell the smoke. You could definitely see backups in some parts of Southwest Atlanta for the drivers who were impacted by this route over here. But again, this scene, much better now. Those flames extinguished. This is from earlier in the day. I want to say around 11 o'clock this morning is when we got this video in. All right, I want to move straight ahead here to another big story that we are tracking, that we have been tracking now for a number of months. We are talking about the latest today in the Trump investigation, in which 19 people have been indicted for allegedly interfering with Georgia's 2020 presidential election. Now, the very latest news today all surrounds this man, David Schaefer. We are told that David Schaefer, along with 2 others, Georgia State Senator Sean Still, and former Coffee County GOP Chair Kathy Latham, they all want to move their cases to federal court. This right here is Kathy Latham. All right, all of those people have pleaded not guilty. Their hope is, if they get this case moved to federal court, they'll have a better chance of getting charges dropped completely, or they'll have more favorable conditions at their trial. And again, this is just the very latest in a long series of events when it comes to the Donald Trump investigation. We have, if you are not all caught up to speed, we have everything you need to know on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, as well as the Atlanta News First app. Another big story we've been following is the latest with the Fulton County Jail. And if you've been with us for months now, you've probably heard about us talking about some of the poor conditions at the jail. There have been at least 10 people who have died at the Fulton County Jail. There have been allegations of bed bugs, of disgusting conditions. I'm actually going to go ahead and show you in just a bit here some of those pictures of those terrible conditions. But what we're hearing today is that officials are pushing to move about 1,000 inmates from the Fulton County Jail to 2 other jails, one in South Georgia, the other in Mississippi. You see them right here on your screens, both locations about 4 hours away. Now, the defense attorneys say this move would limit a person's right to seek justice, but the Fulton County Sheriff, Pat Labatt, says they're just trying to keep people alive, and this is why. You're looking at some footage from within the Fulton County Jail. You can see conditions are disgusting here. Tiles completely missing. It looks like there is an issue with the ceiling in this video right here. A lot of people raising concerns about the jail. In fact, now the Department of Justice even investigating conditions at the Fulton County Jail. There have been also concerns about overcrowding at the jail, with the Fulton County Sheriff saying staffing shortages are responsible for some of the issues as well. Now, the move to get these inmates from Fulton County and put them in these 2 other locations would cost the county about $40 million a year. That's a lot of money. That's also one of the reasons why Some officials are not so sure if this is the right decision. Now, there was no official decision made today, but as we are tracking what's going on with the jail, any further decisions from officials and higher ups, we will be sure to keep you up to date. Stay along with us on AtlantaNewsFirst.com or on air, of course. All right, now I think we need to switch gears to a much brighter story ahead. I'm happy. I'm excited to bring this one to you. We don't always have good news here. I don't need to tell you that. I'm sure many of you already feel that way. But this is a great story here. Atlanta getting some great recognition for our delicious biscuits. We are talking about Bomb Biscuits, this restaurant in Atlanta. This restaurant here, now one of the best restaurants in America. That's according to New York Times. They just put out a list. And I believe there were only, I want to say 50 restaurants on this list, between 50 and 100. Either way, not a lot of people and institutions making it on the list. Bomb Biscuits, by the way, if you're curious, it's over on Highland Avenue. And the owner, her name is Erica Council. She says her grandmother was her inspiration. Her grandma was a teacher and an activist who cooked and baked to support the civil rights movement. Now, Council has a pretty interesting story here. She actually worked as a software engineer before starting her own business. There she is. And if you're curious about trying this place out, I've only heard good things. I do know that they have a number of options when it comes to their breakfast biscuits. You could see some fried chicken in one of those. They also have vegan options and gluten-free options. I saw those on the menu as well. Oh, and by the way, this is Erica's grandmother, the one who was the inspiration behind this business. All right, guys, final story I have for you this evening. I don't have any video to go with this, but that's okay. We're going to just rock it up here. I am so excited to let you know about something that's going on tomorrow with one of our fantastic anchors here, Tori Cooper. You might be familiar with her. She regularly comes on our streaming platform as well as anchors our weekend shows and reports during the week. She is going to be emceeing a wonderful event tomorrow night. The fundraiser is tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And it's to benefit Second Helpings Atlanta. Now, this is a wonderful nonprofit organization which really works to help families in need get access to food. They make sure that no food goes to waste. And one of the things that Atlanta News First actually did today, a bunch of people from our crew, we went out to that location, the Second Helpings Atlanta location, and helped box meals. Well, tomorrow, Tori is again going to be emceeing an event from 6 to 8. There will be food trucks. There's going to be live music. And best of all proceeds from the event are going to be going to Second Helpings Atlanta. The event is happening at 970 Jefferson Street Northwest in Atlanta. Great cause, a lot of really good people out there, and you're going to have a great time as well. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, go check it out. You're going to have a wonderful time. And with that, guys, thank you so much for joining me here at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. We'll send you out with a picture of the Atlanta Midtown skyline. Looking pretty beautiful tonight. All right, we've got meteorologist Patrick Pete on deck. Patrick, I was just talking about an event that is going to be outdoors tomorrow, and I believe we have picture-perfect weather for that, right?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Great week for all outdoor activities. The weather could not be any better. I'm really enjoying this taste of fall that we're getting before the official start of fall this weekend, Saturday. So, good evening. I hope that you're in a good mood, and if you're not, go outside. It'll put you in a good mood. The weather is amazing out there. Temperatures are comfortably in the 70s across North Georgia. 70 degrees to be exact in Lawrenceville, 71 in Marietta, 72 Athens, and here in Atlanta we are at 75 degrees. And over the course of the next few hours, our temperatures are going to cool, but because we have some clouds around tonight, I don't know if you were with us earlier this week, we were talking about radiational cooling. Essentially all of the heat from the surface escapes because there's no clouds. Well, when there are clouds, that heat gets trapped, and normally you get a net warming effect, and that's what's going to happen tonight. So temperatures are only going to slide into the low to mid 60s across our region. We'll call it 65 for us here in Atlanta. Nice breeze out of the east at 7 miles per hour, and the forecast for the next couple of days is going to keep temperatures in that very pleasant territory. 83 is the magic number for for this time of year, and we're going to be somewhere around there for the next 6 days, which is amazing. And actually 7, because day 7 is about 80 degrees. So we're still winning. There's going to be clouds around tomorrow, and there's going to be moisture to the south of us. And I do see that we could see a couple of sprinkles in communities that are south of the city, but that moisture isn't going to lift all the way to Atlanta. So we're keeping that rain chance down for us, maybe a 20% chance at best for folks south of town. This is just sprinkles. This is not going to be a major production, and I'm not even really completely sold on it. I don't think a lot of that's going to make it to the ground. So I'm going to call it a mainly dry day across the region. Temperatures at the bus stop for the kids tomorrow, 64 degrees. I think that if kids have been using those light jackets the last couple of days, I think most of them will be okay tomorrow. Without it, the numbers are going to get pretty comfortable quickly, getting into the upper 70s around lunchtime. And we'll climb into the 80s for a couple of hours, but the temps do slide as we head into the evening back into the 70s, 78 degrees at 6 o'clock. Listen, this is going to be gorgeous weather to get out and about and do some running. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to get my life together, because since I moved to Georgia, I have been indulging in all of the things that I missed when I was out of the South. Even though people say Maryland is the South, the food's different. So I've been working on myself, doing a little bit of running outdoors. The last couple of days has been amazing, and tomorrow is going to be a fantastic day to actually get in a few miles. Lots of marathons and 5Ks, 10Ks, and all that good stuff coming up. And this is perfect training weather. Can't complain about these numbers. Friday's going to be a similar setup, except we expect a little less cloud cover. So numbers in the low 60s for the morning, getting into the mid to upper 70s around lunchtime. Gorgeousness dominating the day. Got to be a fantastic way to end the work week. If a couple of people call in sick, I will not be surprised, because it's going to be gorgeous. 82 degrees at the 5 o'clock hour. Those numbers cooling back down as we head into the evening. 7-day forecast continues to trim with a very pleasant resolution for us here for the weekend. A lot of things going on in town this week. I know that the North Georgia State Fair starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You pick whatever day you want to go out there. It's going to be amazing. Numbers are going to be in the low 80s for the afternoon. We're going to see cloud cover build back into the region by Monday, but we're keeping it pretty dry. But then we're going to throw in some low-end rain chances Tuesday into Wednesday. To be quite honest, neither one of those days look overwhelming, but there's a little bit of moisture around. Precipitable water values up there. We could see a shower or two squeeze out of the atmosphere, so we'll keep that rain chance there. And then, of course, we're keeping an eye on the tropics, where we still have Nigel out there churning in the open Atlantic. Hurricane Nigel, wind sustained at 90 miles per hour, is moving to the north-northeast at about 18 as of the last update. And the forecast is for this to continue to weaken. It's moving into the cooler waters of the open Atlantic, and it's going to race off to the north and quickly start to dissipate. So not expecting much of a production out of this. It's going to eventually head towards the northern latitudes. Guidance is actually saying that maybe now a little bit of rain may make its way into Europe, but it's not going to be a big deal, especially by our standards here at home. Meanwhile, we are keeping an eye to this area of low pressure that is going to develop from this stalled boundary. This is that cold front that moved through several days ago. It's been stalled out over Florida. What we expect to happen is for an area of low pressure to develop. This isn't something that's atypical. We see this often every hurricane season, where some sort of system at some point kind of organizes and we have to watch it based off of a stalled boundary. And this is going to be our go at it this season. More than likely, if anything develops, it'll probably be subtropical. Which has more to do with its structure than it has to do with its intensity. But we'll watch it, because either way it goes, whether it develops into something or not, it's going to be a rainmaker, and it's going to cause some gusty winds across coastal Carolina, and this eventually will move into the northern mid-Atlantic. So we could see folks that are in Virginia, Maryland get in on some of this rain as well. So nothing for us to be concerned with, unless, of course, you have plans to maybe go to Myrtle Beach or something, which, I think those times are pretty much coming to an end now. It's coming up on fall, so I don't think many people are doing that. But hey, that's your advice. There's your heads up. Meanwhile, we're keeping an eye to the coast of Africa, because this tropical wave that just emerged, it's the same one we've been talking about for a couple of days. It's going to be moving into a very conducive environment for development. The sea surface temperatures are very warm. There's low wind shear. There's a lot of moisture. There's not much Saharan dust. All of the ingredients, all the things are thinking. So we'll be watching this. Has about a 70% chance of development over the course of the next week. We will keep you posted on air and online. Let's take you back to our beautiful sky shot of Midtown Atlanta. Man, it looks great out there. Listen, hey, if now that we're done here, if you want to go and step out on your patio, this is going to be a good evening to do that because it's just gorgeous out there. Temperatures are comfortable. There's your green light. If not, here's your 7-day. I'll let you take your screenshots and do what you need to do to plan ahead. But I'm going to go prepare for our 10 o'clock newscast. Me and meteorologist Fred Campagna. You're going to be live at 10 o'clock on Peachtree TV, and you can catch Fred at 11 on Atlanta News First. Have a good night.